All right, guys, we're back, and I'm going to actually do a special interview with somebody that's special here today. Using the word special again. Too much. Too much. But see if I can do this properly. Show screens. Yeah, no, it's not what I want to do. I want to no. Someday I'll understand how to use this. All right, guys. So I'm actually going to go over to speak to Mr. Ito, who is here today. Willie Ito is actually, he is an artist who's worked on tons of things. And sure. No. Come on. Smarter than the computer. Control private style, brand, media assets. Someday we will figure this out. Maybe not today. Invite, no. Send. No. Maybe this. Do this. That's live. I'm live. All right, guys. So I'm going to be moving over to where Willie is, and I'm going to get an interview and talk to him about. All right, guys. So I'm going to be moving over to where Willie is, and I'm going to get an interview and talk to him about. All right. So there he is. Maybe I should do this, so I don't get an echo. So I don't get an echo. It's kind of weird. But let's bring up Willie. Full screen. Pull that one out. There he is. There you guys are. Guys, if you guys don't know who Willie is, he's actually over here walking and talking. Excuse me. Oh.
Okay.
Mr. Ito, how's it going?
My pleasure. Thank you. I'm having a good time.
You having a good time?
Very good.
That's good. I mean, this is how many cons have you gone to?
Well, I'm somewhat of an old-time con person. I'm a con artist. But I guess my very first convention was the San Diego Comic Con when it was still at the old El Cortez Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And when it was just a comic book convention. Now, of course, it's gotten to be so large, and a lot of the big medias and studios are involved. But back then, I was collecting comic books, and I wanted to complete my run, of the Walt Disney Comic and Stories.
Oh.
And I had some holes, and so I would go to the Comic-Con and just read through boxes and boxes of old comics to finally I was able to complete my run of that and the Uncle Scrooge and Donald Duck done by Carl Barks, who was one of my idols and one of those comic book cartoonists that inspired me to pursue my career in cartooning and animation.
Wow. So cons have come a long way because, I mean, yeah, like you said, it used to be just comic books. And I I'm not. I don't look as old as I am. I really am older, but I remember the conventions where it was just comic book box after box after box,
Right.
and that's what we did. We just went through and we dig through, and we find exactly what it is that we were looking for. It was great.
It was. Yeah, those were fun days. This is great too. Of course, it's in such a large scale, and a man of my age, it finds comfort just sitting here and have the fans come to me and talk and all that. I don't have to walk around and exhaust myself.
so this is a good thing that we're now
It's
here,
a good thing.
and they come to you and they're just like, oh my gosh, I remember. And seeing how you've done a lot with Hanna-Barbera,
Yeah.
and I have to say that when I saw that Hong Kong Phooey was one of yours, I was like, oh my god, I actually really loved Hong Kong Phooey.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here right next to
No,
you.
no.
But I'm being honest because I loved the voice also.
Yeah.
And it was Scatman Carruthers that did his voice,
Exactly.
it was so cool.
That was kind of a fluke. After we created Hong Kong Phooey, see, the network came to Hanna-Barbera and said that from here on, if you have an ethnic character, we need the actors to be of that ethnicity to do the voices.
Wow.
So then our first big challenge was we did the Harlem Globetrotter show.
I remember that.
And I remember coming into work one morning and the lobby was filled with black actors. And then, of course, I later realized that they were all there to audition for the Harlem Globetrotter shows. And then a few months later, we did the Amazing Chan Clan. And now the lobby was filled with Asian actors. And so about that time, I created the Hong Kong Phooey show. And then, of course, Hong Kong Phooey means that that character must be Asian, but it's a dog. So it's like, do we follow what the network requested, or just kind of go on our own? So one night I was at a Japanese restaurant in Hollywood, and I saw Pat Morita at the bar. So I invited him over to have a drink. And then he sat down and we talked. And I said, Pat, did you ever think about doing voices for cartoons? And he said, well, my agent never really sent me out to do that. And I said, oh, okay. How about if you come in Monday, we could do a recording audition tape, and then we'll see what happens. So Monday comes, no call. And so Wednesday, I'm at the same restaurant, the Imperial Gardens on Sunset Boulevard, and Pat's there. So I say, hey, Pat, come on over. What happened? Monday, I was waiting to hear from you. He said, oh, yeah, my agent called the day before and sent me for an audition, but I got the part. I said, oh, I'll be darned. What did you get? He said, well, it's a part in a movie called Karate Kid, and I'm playing the major part as Mystery Magi. I said, oh, well, congratulations. And then I'm thinking, well, I better try to find another good voice for Hong Kong Phooey. So one night I was at a place called the Hollywood Bowl, not where they have the concerts, but a bowling alley.
Okay.
And at the bowling alley, they had a lounge.
Mhm.
And so me and a couple of guys from Hanna-Barbera, we were having our drinks and saw the comedian. And so, God, this guy's really funny, you know. So I invited him to join us at the table later, bought him a drink, and asked him if he might be interested in coming in to audition for a cartoon voice, which he was. He came in, he auditioned, got the tape. Ran it into Joe Barbera, and then he listened to it and he said, "Hey, that's an interesting voice for a dog character that's supposedly a Asian or whatever." And so we ended up with Scatman Crothers, and it worked out to be perfect comedy and the whole bit, you know. So
Yeah.
so that's how we got the Scatman.
And I'm telling you, that was the voice that just I love that character. I really did. Like whenever that cartoon came on, I was like, "This is good." Oh,
Yeah.
sure. He wants to say hi to you, Willie.
Oh, well, thank you, my friend.
This is what happens when you're sitting by a legend.
You have a good one.
Real good.
You have a good one, man.
All right. No problem.
Don't worry, don't worry.
So look at that. They come to you.
No, yeah, well, I'm very flattered. You know, because we work behind the scenes. We're at a drawing board. We're not in front of any kind of audience and all that.
Yeah.
But the power of screen credits and working on some of the classic cartoons, you know, I'm really flattered by the attention.
Yeah.
And of course, too, I was very fortunate because when I started my career in 1954, I was still an art student at Chouinard's,
Wow.
which is now California Institute of
Arts,
the Arts. And so I just started there and awarded a scholarship. But I thought to myself, you know, as long as I'm down here in LA from San Francisco, and I have my portfolio with me, which was basically student portfolio, just all high school, junior high things. I want to see the inside of the Walt Disney Studio. So, on a whim, I called the studio and they granted me an interview. So I went up to the studio in Burbank and got my interview. And then afterwards, I got the usual, "Well, thank you for coming in. Don't call us, we'll call you." I figure, okay, 4 years, I'll finish Chouinard's, have a real professional portfolio, and then look for a job at Disney for real, you know. 2 weeks later, I get a Western Union telegram from Walt Disney Studio inviting me to come in the following Monday to take a test. So I did. They sat me down at a drawing board and gave me a stack of different Disney character model sheets, asking me to draw the characters. Don't trace just because you're at a light board.
Yeah.
Draw different expressions, poses, which I did. Then I took a lunch break, came back after lunch, and the animation supervisor says, "Well, congratulations, you're hired." And, you know, here's a kid, 19 years old, just started art school, and I'm hired at Disney. And so he says, "Yeah, and then we're going to start you in the lady unit." I had no idea, lady unit, because I didn't know anything about a film called Lady and the Tramp. So I thought it was the ink and paint department, which is all ladies.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, that must be my entry level position, washing brushes and bringing coffee to the ladies or whatever, not knowing that I was going to start on the character lady. And the very first scene that I'm assigned to is the iconic spaghetti kissing scene. So that's how I started my 50-year career in animation on one of the most auspicious and iconic scene from Disney.
That's amazing to know, to be a 19-year-old kid thinking I got nothing, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into
Yes.
this iconic scene which you didn't know,
I had no idea.
and you thought you were just going to be bringing coffee But-
and watching paper.
and washing paintbrushes. But you know what? You got some more. Like, again, they're just coming to you, and they got a great picture they want you to sign.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'll let you knock that out. And then we'll come back to the interview.
You can continue anytime you want.
Yeah. But let's get them to.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate it. It's been a fun day, and I'm looking forward to a full day tomorrow.
And I'm going to definitely be back to get
Okay.
more stories from you because I know they just keep coming. Really, they
Okay.
keep coming. It was really nice talking to you.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm going to move back over to the other camera. Oh, Callie, you're a great dog. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. You Darren's now on popcorn duty, guys. Look at that. Popcorn duty.
Not the doctor. It's popcorn. It's
Popcorn, not dog duty, popcorn duty. Oh, that was a great interview, guys. Great interview. Now we're going to do this again. Now we're going to do this, and we're going to be back onto this camera. And we're going to be back on this camera. And I think we should be. I think we should be. I think that was my shoe. It was loud and obnoxious, but okay. Great. That was the amazing Willie Ito, which I will still be doing more with him. I'll definitely be going back to interview him. And then I turn that down. So one thing about YouTube. All right, so do I still have an echo? No, I don't. Okay. So that was the amazing Willie Ito. Great story. He told me just about the time that he got hired by Disney, and I'm gonna definitely come back to him for some more stories. And he also told me about one of my favorite characters that he created for Hanna-Barbera, which was Hong Kong Fu, which is great. Guys, if you guys don't know who Willie is, come over to the booth. Oh wait, I just saw the look. The James Cam. Every so often I gotta throw it back to James so he can see. You guys get to see what he's doing and how he's. Let's see the best side of James. Oh wait, there it is. It's the back side of James. His head. Not the. All right, guys. So
Potato, potato.
the same, yeah. But I am Eugene, and I am with the Geek Saga. If you've never heard of me, that's okay. I'm going to tell you who I am. I am a veteran, and I actually am a huge geek. I love everything pop culture that's out there. So I created this podcast in order to talk about all this stuff. And if there's any veterans out there, I'd love to talk to you guys. Come on over to the booth. We could talk Hua stuff, or we could talk geek stuff, whatever. I love it all. Well, not so much the Hua stuff. I'm almost done with that. But yeah, that's what I do now. I do have a partner. He's unfortunately unable to come down here, but you guys are stuck with this face for the rest of the weekend. So if it's not bad, say yay. If it is, I'm sorry. But it's been going great so far. It is Saturday, day 2, and I got to see another fellow podcaster, which is Santos from 88 Miles an Hour podcast, which is great. I really do love his podcast. I listen to it quite a bit. So I know he said he'll come back. Hopefully he will. We'll do a little trivia with him. But I do trivia over here. So if you guys are looking to have some fun, play a game, and you think you guys know Saturday morning, when I mean Saturday morning, I mean cartoons, cereal, and toys that go along with Saturday mornings, come on by. We are going to do the different types of games that I do have. I've already given away several prizes. I think I'm almost done, which is great. And if you guys come over to do my trivia, I will put on. I will put on this hat and do my trivia. But they got to come over to do trivia. That's the only way I'm going to do this. Close enough. All right. So I am part of the Water Buffalo Order. All right. So I still haven't got a chance to get out to very many interviews out on the floor, but I will be doing a lot more of those tomorrow, which there's a lot of vendors I really want to go look at. And I'm going to leave my wallet behind because I don't want to spend too much money. But if you guys are in line to get popcorn, awesome. Thank you guys so much for supporting Project Wish Upon a Star. It is a great charity. They bring the kids that are pediatric cancer patients to the cons so they enjoy themselves, have some fun. And guys, they don't just have the popcorn. They got mystery boxes right there. The mystery boxes have a bunch of really cool prizes inside. So if you purchase one of those things, you guys get that. Also, there's a QR code floating around here for the Oriental Trading Company. I have some on my counter over here. If you guys scan that code that's on there, you get a chance to win $200, but it also helps out the charity for every time you guys scan it. So scan that code, QR code, help them out. And there's a big bucket right there. Drop some cash in there too. If you want to drop some cash over here, I'm always welcome to that. I'll take credit cards, major credit. Oh, James too. James said he'll take all major credit cards. He'll take cash. He'll take a pat on the back. But next up for an interview is going to be Scott, who's been floating around here. So I'll be taking him next. And they just messed up my tape. I don't like that. I am very harsh on my tape. Guys, if you are having issues with your cosplay, you need some repairs, James is the man. Come on back. If you guys can hear me and you don't know where to go, look for the sign that's right underneath the bathroom sign. It's a good way to find them. Huh? It says cosplay air pair. It's kind of funny. James could build amazing things as far as cosplay. He could fix almost anything, but his sign is falling apart. Poor James. But I like the guy still. So, hope I'm entertaining. If I'm not entertaining you guys, I'm sorry. But if you guys want to do some trivia, I'm more than happy to do that right now. I have several different games, and I love to play them. I love seeing people's reactions, thinking that they know everything there is about Saturday morning stuff. Probably can beat a lot of people. Scott, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to set up my camera so I can have you, not have you, but do my interview with you next. James?
I can help them take pictures of my stuff.
You know, Darren, you didn't bring Scooby stuff. Got some?
Yeah. That whole burger thing. Oh,
Okay. So, all right, guys. Here we go. Switching out positions. Moving to the secondary microphone and making my way down here. This is the best thing. I don't have to go too far for interviews today. I could actually come right to our own booth.
are we standing?
Oh no, we're sitting.
Sitting?
We're sitting.
We're getting comfy.
We're getting real comfy. There is no there ain't no standing today, Scott. You've done enough of that.
We're already halfway in. We've got to sit down. We've got to reserve our energy.
Exactly. We got one more day, so we're gonna do that. And I want to get the. It's great having a screen right behind me, right behind us,
Yeah,
guys.
that works.
All right, so I gotta go grab my. I gotta bring my chair.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Grabbing my chair because we're gonna sit down with Scott Butler and have a chat.
Eugene ever?
Darren, it's been a busy day.
It's been a busy day.
I wish it wasn't so busy.
Yeah. Saturday's the big one.
It's, you know what? It is the big one. It's the best day, and what's really cool is like people watching.
It is. It's fascinating just seeing all the amazing costumes. And we had some yesterday, but with it being Saturday, the first day of the weekend, like this is the big one. And everyone's been coming in. We've got people dressed in Agatha, Rio Vidal from Agatha Long, costumes from shows that I don't know about, but I've been asking people, and I'm like, okay, I need to watch that now. I'm not, into anime yet, but I could get into it, So many beautiful costumes, yeah.
There is, and it's really cool to see just the work that's put into a lot of them.
Oh.
And you can see, like, yeah, there's some that are store-bought, but the ones that they really, you see the love that's put into a lot of the costumes when they're building stuff. So it's great. I always love doing that.
It's one of the first questions I ask is like, okay, what did you make? What did you buy? I'm curious because I'm a nerd for this stuff. I like, costumes. I like acting. I like, all sorts of visual stuff. So for me, that's fascinating. Like, I get to dress up and be characters. And when I do that, I'm always like, how does this work? How does the costume work? play creatures, and I'm like, okay, let's figure out this stuff, you know. So I do have a connection with that thing. So when I meet people at these conventions, I'm always so curious about how they put stuff together, the work that goes into it, the craftsmanship, like the accuracy, what reference images did they have, and all that. I just find it fascinating.
It's cool. Have you had a chance to actually go down to the main lobby? Because
I haven't.
oh my gosh, you got to get down there at least for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for all the real good costumes, they're literally
It's all down there.
It's all in the lobby.
It's all going off. I mean, I was there obviously coming in,
Yeah.
but people were lined up and it wasn't quite going off yet. But yeah, I actually need to walk around. I heard there's a whole horror section somewhere
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
There is. It's so if you go out, you go down the hall.
Yeah.
It's in another room. I was
Oh.
like, holy crap!
I think I saw a picture on Instagram. It looked really cool. So being a villain and a horror character, I probably should go and visit. I think I feel at home there. You know, I'll be like, oh, this is my kind of place. You know, pull up a chair.
So that's okay. So that's why I'm sitting down, because obviously you were in a show called, and I always have to look for the name because I still have not watched it.
It's
I'm
okay.
bad. I know.
Agatha
But Agatha-
all along.
Yes, Agatha all along, and you played who?
The Doctor.
The
The
Doctor.
Doctor. Yeah, he is not a very friendly character. He's a little intense. He has a deep history, 100-year history with one of the lead characters, Jennifer Kale, in the show. And there is clearly some relationship there that they don't give a lot of answers to in the show. There's a little bit of revelation later after the scene, mentioning what happened a little bit about her character and how she got into the situation she's in. I'm trying to tread carefully here for anyone who's not watched the show without giving too much away. But let me say that they have a history. There is clearly something going on. And as I was just talking with somebody a minute ago, they're like, we need more Agatha to figure out what is happening, because there is more to tell, more story.
So what you're saying is they're saying we want more Doctor.
Yes, and in fact, Sasha Zameda, who played Jennifer Kale in my scene, she said back in November, I think it was, in Collider, that she would like to revisit the backstory. So, fingers crossed for that. We would love to see more about that relationship and what exactly happened. What was real that was shown in Agatha? What was symbolic? What was hallucinations? That kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, awesome. So there's more to you than just Doctor, and I see that there are a ton of pictures in front of us of games that you worked on, correct?
Yeah, I before I got into acting, which was 16 years ago, as a teenage boy, I was 16 years old. I've been playing around with digital art, and somebody spotted me at a computer club in my very nerdy youth, which was fantastic, and asked me if I was curious about a games job, you know, as an artist, and I said, yeah, I guess. And then the following year, I finished my exams and then started in the game industry with that company. So I've been making games now for 36 years, and I still do it today, even though I do acting as well. I do both. I'm quite a good multitasker, so I make it work. Yeah, we made a game back in the 90s, released in 97, called Croc Legend of the Gobbos, which is on PlayStation 1, Sega Saturn, and PC. And it was a big hit. I believe it hit #1 in a bunch of charts around the world. And I left the company shortly after making that game, and then found out about its huge success and wondered maybe I shouldn't have left. But it's okay, it's life, you know. Interestingly, the choice I made kind of led me to moving to the States, also then led me into acting. So I always think of it as like it was maybe a journey you were supposed to take, you know. But yeah, I still make games. I've been an artist, 3D modeler, animator. Now I do more technical stuff. And yeah, I'm currently working on Monopoly Go on the phones, and it's been a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah.
You're working on Monopoly Go?
Yes, that's my day job. 2 years now. Yes, almost.
I've been sitting in this booth the whole time with this guy. I didn't even know that. I actually played that game.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
really? I do play that actually.
Yeah. It's a fun, colorful game.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is. And I don't want to put it in a bad way, but it is kind of mind numbing. So it can be
Yeah.
just going around and you're just like, oh, look at that. I'm gonna hit that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit that.
People get. I feel it myself because I have to play test it, and it's quite addictive.
Yes.
So you sort of like get into it like, oh, I'm testing this thing, and then like before you know it, 10 minutes later, you're like, okay, I completely went off a tangent now, trying to collect all this stuff. I'm supposed to be testing this thing, but it is super fun. It is charming, whimsical. The music is catchy, The characters are colorful, the environments in it, and it takes Monopoly and then expands it beyond into mini games and lots of other features in the game that are just really, really fun. You know?
Yeah, I have spent literally hours on the game. The type of work that I do, there are times when I'm sitting in my office and I'm just like, there's nothing going on.
Hit that red go button.
And it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It is great. But
Yeah.
so now back to your acting.
Yes.
Agatha all along. What else have you done?
I did a network show called Lodge 49 on AMC that was with Paul Giamatti, Bruce Campbell, Wyatt Russell, who played Captain America.
Yep.
And it was fantastic. It was one of the first bigger shows that I did. And it was amazing. You know, we shot it a few years ago. It was a charming, very quirky show, very character-driven show about sort of what seemingly is like ordinary people living extraordinary lives, but by sort of like, you know, the way the story unravels, their lives become more and more interesting and fulfilled. And it was just a beautiful show. And everyone who was working on it was so passionate, so incredibly collaborative on it, and just really wanted to make the best thing ever. And it showed, because the reviews and the fans just adored it. You know, sadly it didn't continue past season 2, but I would love for it to come back someday, and I think it still could. But it was a hard show to package into a trailer. You know, it was one of those shows where it's like there's so much more to it than something you can sort of put into a minute and a half. But it is beloved, and it is wonderful. And there are still very, very active groups on social media who still talk about it, still do like traditions of like stuff that's in the show as like their kind of like week to week little things they do, you know, and it's just beautiful. But yeah, I've done a lot of shows, like did a movie called Hypochondriac where I play a character called the Wolf, which is, for want of a better word, sort of the boogeyman in the movie, but really there's a lot more to it. He's a reflection on the main character, his sort of mental health state and where things are going. The more he leaves it unattended, the more it deepens and darkens, the more the character that I play, the Wolf, becomes more chaotic and dark and more sort of visceral in the role. So I do like a lot of weird roles. I play like regular people, I play creatures, monsters, villains, which honestly are more fun. I do enjoy them. I think as a kid I was a bit weird. No, I'm still weird, but I was a bit of a weird kid because I used to want the villains to win. That's why my favorite movie is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
That's actually one of my favorite.
Oh,
That's
it's
actually
the best.
that was the best Star Wars.
Yeah.
That, by far.
It's dark.
Yes.
It's dark, and it shows you. I was, you know, just 8 years old when it came out. I think it was.
No, it's 80.
So 81.
Yes, it was
81. So 83 was Return of the Jedi,
Yes.
wasn't it? Yeah. So I was 9. So it was the first time I think I'd seen a film where there wasn't a very happy ending, and it left a lot of questions and then sort of interest and cliffhangers to see what would happen next. You know, so I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
we talked and you said you were a huge Star Wars fan.
I am
And
huge. I have a collection of helmets. I still got my figures from my childhood in my mum's attic, which I need to go pick up. Loads of vehicles and stuff. Huge Star Wars fan. Someday I want to manifest a Star Wars role, so I've got to make that happen.
Well, so we're right here. See this face? Scott Butler. Remember that? Star Wars. All right.
I'd make a good Imperial officer, I think.
I think you would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody like that.
I think so.
I can do the stern British accent, being British. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun. I love Star Wars. The creativity of it and just this whole like universe. I'm more into Star Wars than a lot of other shows because I like the grittiness of it. It feels lived in. It feels like there are so many stories. Like some of my favorite characters are actually the bounty hunters.
Oh yeah.
You know, that were revealed. You know, Bosk and IG-88 and Boba Fett, of course. And I just loved all that stuff. It just I was like, who are these key people? You know, I had all the action figures. I was like making up stories with them. Anyway, I could go on. Sorry,
no.
I'm geeking out.
You can. That's what this show is all about. Is geeking out on what you like, because we want our audience out there to get to know who you are.
Yeah.
It's great, all this stuff that you've done, but if they don't like you, they're not going to keep following this.
Well, that's the thing is like I've only been coming to conventions for the last couple of years, and I sadly never went before because I just wasn't sure it was something that I was into, because I thought it was strictly comics, because Comic-Con,
Oh, yeah.
right? And then you come here and it is so much more. And I'm kicking myself for not coming before, but I've now been making up for lost time. I went to San Diego Comic-Con this year.
Nice.
That was amazing. And I just feel like it's home because, I was saying to somebody earlier, like, a lot of people come out here to, like, you know, make some money and sort of make connections or whatever. But honestly, the thing that really hit me is meeting people and talking to people about what they're into, regardless of whether it's stuff I've worked on or not, just what they're into, and just like seeing that passion, that energy for like everyone coming together here to celebrate what they're into, their fandoms, their stuff that affected them when they were younger, when they grew up. And I just love all that. I don't know, I feed off of it. It's just fascinating because then I end up telling similar stories, you know?
Well, and that's what's cool about this whole community is that despite of where you grew up, how you grew up, what you are, it doesn't matter. If you can talk, and I always say, you can talk geek, you guys just instant connection, and it's just like it's everybody welcomes each other in, and it's awesome.
I was a very shy kid when I was young, and when I was 11 years old, I was gifted my first, you might not know this, but it was big in the UK and Europe. It was called the Fighting Fantasy book series, and what they were was like those choose your own adventure books.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where you start you get a story, and then you start at paragraph 1, and it says like, I don't know, you arrive at the city gates, but there are guards there. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to bribe them? Do you want to talk to them, see if you can get through?
Oh,
and you turn to different pages. And even though I watched movies and stuff and TV shows as a young kid, that was sort of like the first time I really started interacting with the idea of like adventures and, you know, sci-fi fantasy, because all the different books had different themes, you know. And then I got into games, and then just grew from there. So for me as a child, I found that as like a really welcome escapism, you know, to sort of get away from whatever it is you're dealing with and go out on an adventure or read a new story or learn about other characters and things they're into. And ever since, I've always been fascinated by stories.
And that's the great thing about a lot of these comics and a lot of the games. It's escapism.
Yes.
When some of these comics start to go into the real world, it's kind of like, I don't really want that. I want to escape all that's going on.
Yeah.
And that's even coming through these doors into this place. We're still escaping everything else and enjoying it.
You just walk 2 minutes out of this building. There's just nothing but traffic, cars, concrete car parks, and life. You come in here, it is a whole nother world. I mean, the colors, the costumes, the creativity, everything that's going on, the music, the panels, everything. It's just beautiful. I almost don't want to leave. I just want to stay here. I might just sit here until next year's one. I'll just be sat here like waiting, you know.
Just have your table out.
Yeah, I'll just be completely on my own. But no, I absolutely love it. I adore it. I just think it's fascinating, and it makes me want to do more stuff and just, you know, be more creative and just, you know, it's fascinating. Like when I was quite deep into acting, I was doing a low budget horror movie where I had a masked character, and I'm chasing this girl down this with this knife. It's kind of scary character. I was chasing this girl down this like dead end, and there's a moment in it where I have to do like this sort of weird physical thing where I sort of like point to her and let her know that actually one of my bad guys is behind her. Like she thinks she's gotten away. And when I drove home from set that night, I was like, that's so much fun. That was so creative and so interesting. I've never done anything physical like that because the movements were kind of unusual. And then I had this light bulb moment as I was driving back from set. I was like, wow, hold on. This is like all the video game animation I've been doing for the last few decades. Instead of animating game characters, why don't I animate myself? So it took me down this weird path of like combining games and acting and taking what I know with making games. And then that's how it started with like creatures and monsters. And then eventually, even though he's not a creature or monster, the Doctor and Agatha all along, there were moments and things that I did with that role that were a little bit unusual, a little bit like offsetting, that people were like, oh, this guy's creepy. I want to know what's going on, you know? So I don't know. I figured like, you know, combine those worlds and try to get the most out of it. It's my sort of weird edge that I have, you know?
That's cool. Now, you mentioned fantasy and the books that you were reading, which of course I've read those, not your books, but the books that are Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
Which they are great. Yeah. Now, have you ever played, because you said games, have you ever played D&D? So
back when I was quite early in games, I think it was about 3 years into it or 2 years into it, I watched a bunch of people play D&D at the office. It was an Argonaut where we made Croc. And I was fascinated. I didn't want to join because I was too shy. Because they all seemed like there was a lot of. It felt like there was a lot of rules and a lot of things they had to know.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, people say actually it's quite easy to get into.
It is.
I did a year ago at the company I work for get to watch another D&D session, and what I loved about it was that not only were they having fun playing it, but they were making voices for the characters. I do a bit of voice acting, and of course I make voices for my characters too on screen. And I thought, okay, I need to get into this because it looks like so much fun. It looks like something I could have, really have fun with doing characters and voices. So I've been asking a couple of friends about like, what is a basic kit I can buy, or what can I do to get into it? I'm starting super late, but I think it'd be fun.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
I actually started playing when I think I was about 13. Yeah. But I think I could introduce you to the world. I have a couple
Let's do
friends. It would be awesome. So
Yeah,
you got the British accent. I think it would work.
I want to play maybe something like a dark elf or an evil orc or goblin or something.
Oh my.
Like the voices on Lord of the Rings where they're like,
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna eat your brains. Yeah, come here.
all this kind of stuff. It'd be super fun. I would love to do something weird like
Oh
that, like a
I-
crazy character.
I think you would make an amazing DM because you'd be able to give
You
the
think so?
voice. Oh yeah. If you're able to just
That'd be fun.
it'd be your imagination. You're running the game, and you're doing the characters to all the
Yeah.
NPCs. Oh my gosh.
Do you remember the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon in the 80s?
Yes.
I don't know how accurate that was to D&D, but I liked it. It was fun.
It was actually. It was close,
It was
and it was
based-
really
yeah.
cool that they introduced a lot of monsters
Yeah.
in that show, so people could actually see them come to life, and it was really cool.
Was that the one that had Unicorn? The Unicorn
Yes,
Uni?
Yep.
I remember him. He had this cute little voice.
Yeah, it was just like a little. I don't know. I'm not even gonna attempt to
I
do
don't
it.
remember. I'm not going to attempt to do it because it'll be way off and I'll offend somebody. So, but yes, I remember that show. It was really fun. I mean, here we are with Saturday morning cartoons
Oh yeah.
with Project Wish Upon a Star, which is a wonderful, wonderful charity for children's cancer, and they're doing a great thing here, and we're having a great time. Just being here and trying to do some good and meet people and bring people into what we're doing here.
Yeah. It is a great place to be, and it's always in this booth. We always meet new people. Like I'm meeting you for the first time, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
And it's always something cool with Project Wish.
Yeah.
So,
It's a great
Scott,
cause.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh no,
Good. This is fun.
yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, I could just sit here all day. And
Let's keep going.
we keep talking about.
So what are you into?
What am I into? Oh my god, what am I not into?
This could take a few more hours.
Yeah, we're gonna go down a rabbit hole that these guys are gonna be like, you know
Are you
what?
a
No,
Trekkie?
not really. But
I want to get into Trek. I made the choice to go with Star Wars because I love Star Wars.
yeah,
But I tell you what, the original movies of Star Trek were pretty damn good. I really enjoyed them. Like the V'Ger with the girl with the bald head, the Voyager satellite that was found in the middle of
see,
the universe. All
Yeah.
that stuff was fascinating.
to me that one wasn't. It wasn't
Did
that
it get you that one?
No, because my dad actually watched Star Trek. He loved Star Wars, but he watched Star Trek. So
Yeah.
I grew up on the original
So,
Star Trek.
yeah.
Yeah. And so when the first movie came out, I was still really young.
Okay.
But I got to see it on VHS, and it was so slow that I was just kind of like,
See, I don't know. I feel like movies back then, in general, I'm generalizing a bit here, but I feel like a lot of movies back then were a bit slower paced. A lot of movies now, they try to show you a lot of things. Again, not every movie. A lot of movies, they try to show you a lot of things because, they're trying to sort of get the attention and show cool stuff in the trailers. I get it. Tell a big story. But I like some of those slower paced movies because I feel like as a viewer, you got to invest a bit of time into each location, each scene, each scenario that was happening. And then you cared a little bit more about what was going on. Like, are they going to make it? What's going to happen? You get to sort of like understand a little bit more about the location. So I get it. I understand. But I'd like to give Star Trek a go. And like another thing that kind of I watched when I was young, but I sort of haven't kept up is Doctor Who.
oh my God,
Are you a Doctor Who fan?
I'm a huge Whovian.
I was Tom Baker.
Oh, well, so I grew up watching Tom Baker. Actually, because they had it on Nick at Night, I started back in like the late 80s was when I started watching it. So I was a kid and I'd watch Nickelodeon. But my doctor is Tennant.
Oh,
Though, and
yeah.
I love him because He's known as the Warrior Doctor.
Because they're all a little bit different, aren't they?
Yeah.
All got their own traits.
Each one has, and when he came on the scene, it was just like, this dude's bad.
Yeah.
And I love that guy. Because Eccleston he was all right, but I found out that later on that he wanted to get killed off as quick as possible. He wasn't really into it. He thought it was a child show. And it's like, you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, like, think about it. What would you do if they came to you and said, so Scott, we'd like you to be the next Doctor?
Well, I did just play the Doctor. So you know, it's funny, when the role came out, when the show came out, you know, I would put posts out, you know, advertising the show and getting people to watch it. And of course, the character is called the Doctor. That's actually what it says in the credits. And so when I put it out there, people knowing that I'm British, they would say, the Doctor who? You know, so they'd kind of like tag that on the end. Like, is there a connection there? It's like, no, it's different universe, but it's a fascinating idea. But I would, in a heartbeat, say yes.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with Doctor Who. I grew up with, as I said, Tom Baker. And again, you know, escapism. You know, we only had, I think, 3 channels of TV back then, so there wasn't a lot of choice, and you couldn't, you know, just watch things anytime you want. We didn't have cable TV for a long time. So when the shows would come on, it was a big event. You know, you sort of earmark it, watch the show, enjoy it, and you know, those Daleks used to scare me.
Oh my gosh!
Do
Yeah.
you remember Davros, who was the leader of the Daleks?
Yes.
Ooh,
That was a great character that they created. I mean,
that's traumatizing when you're a few years old, but in a good way, because I love that stuff. You know.
But I actually had the honor of meeting Tom Baker.
Oh,
At a
nice.
con.
Wow, he's a legend.
Oh yeah, he was awesome.
He's a larger-than-life character.
Oh yeah, he was great.
He's amazing.
It was great. It was an amazing thing that I got to do. But the one that still eludes me is David Tennant, who's actually going to be here. Actually,
Oh, is he here?
I think he's here.
Ooh.
Him and Billie Piper from his series.
Yeah, and she's now in Wednesday, isn't she?
Well, she's actually, I think they said she's going to be the next Doctor Who.
Oh.
So,
I wonder if the Doctor should go meet the Doctor.
oh my God, that would be.
We got Doctor Strange standing right there too, so
yeah.
there was a connection of doctors going on. So
You should just grab that doctor and just keep getting
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
collect all the doctors that you can find.
we can almost start a hospital together. We've almost got everybody.
I don't know if we're gonna want to go to your
might
doctor.
not be the hospital you want to go to. You might want to go somewhere else, but
Oh yeah, but that's like Doctor Who was something I grew up with. Battlestar Galactica.
oh yeah, I grew up with that too. So I love Battlestar Galactica. Because I think is it right that some of the people that worked on Battlestar Galactica came from Star Wars? Like the people that built the ships. I feel like there was a connection there.
Actually, some of the model makers actually
Yeah.
went over and started that.
Right.
And actually, their head, I think it was the head effects guy
Okay.
that left and went over there.
Because I remember the aesthetic of the ships was the first thing that caught my eye, and then the next thing was the Cylons.
Oh
Because the Cylons were very striking.
yeah. Yep.
You know, the whole voice thing with the lights, for me as a young kid was extremely alien feeling to me.
Yeah.
You know, you think of robots and stuff, walking around like this, but the Cylons was something else, It's funny, actually, as a kid, I always thought stormtroopers were robots.
I did too.
I didn't think they were clone human beings.
Yeah.
I thought they were robots.
I
Because you
thought
never
the
saw
same, yeah.
the helmets off, except for Luke and Han wearing the suits.
But it still made it seem like they took it off the skeleton or whatever
That's
it
what I
was.
thought.
Yeah.
I thought they'd removed it off the robots and put them on.
Yeah,
As
so-
a kid,
Well,
limited.
what do we know? What do we know? We were kids.
It made sense to me back then. but yeah,
Did you-
Battlestar Galactica was fantastic.
Did you watch the reboot of Battlestar?
Sadly, I did not.
Oh,
I
man.
think I watched a couple of episodes. I need to pick. I got a list of things. I've got a list of things I need to get back into. Like I'm in the MCU and I'm still catching up on some of the shows. Admittedly, I'm a couple of episodes into Ironheart, so I need to continue that. But yeah, there's a lot of great shows, and I want to go back and watch some of the older stuff too. Just because they were my childhood and things that I would like to see how I feel about them now, and as an adult. So I'm kind of adult. I'm still a child inside. I think I'm still 15 internally.
Well,
But yeah.
well, here's the sad thing. I don't want to burst your bubble when you want to go back to watch the show. They're not as good as we thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would still like to see them. I would still like to see them because, I feel like with any show or movie, regardless of what the sort of general consensus is, I feel like there's always something to be entertained in it, with it. Like I've always had that. I've almost never walked out of a movie.
Really?
I think once.
I did.
It was really bad, but but I try to stick with it and just try to like enjoy the experience and see what it was that was interesting.
Okay.
Maybe I'm glutton for punishment. I don't know.
Well, no, because honestly, I could only remember one movie that I walked out on, and it was so bad. It was Open Water. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, I have seen it.
Yes.
I watched that through to the end.
I watched till the point of them doing this. Oh my God, we're stuck here. And then I was like, oh my God, we gotta go. So we got up and we walked out of it. I was like, I can't do this.
I think the reason I'm like that is because I have the blockbuster mentality. Because as a kid, we'd watch films on VHS, and going and renting a film was a big event. You get your friends together, you go out to the Blockbuster store, which was not always local. Drive there, you spend a good 30 minutes to an hour choosing a video. You pay good money to watch it, right? And you take it home. And then when you put the video in, sometimes we would choose it literally by the cover image. Oh, look, there's a werewolf on the front. Let's get this one, And then you sit down and watch it. And because it wasn't like it is now, where you can just switch over really quickly, I was like, well, let's watch it. Let's watch this to the end. See if it's something we like, So I think that's where that comes from. But I have respect and admiration for anything that people make, whether it has big success or not. I think there's not only the entertainment value, but there's also the respect of something that is fresh, different. It doesn't have to be super unique. It just needs to be what it is, put out there, and whether or not it is similar to other stuff or it's quite on its own. I always think there's something to be admired about somebody having an idea, putting it together, getting the funding, making the thing, putting it out there, and hoping people enjoy it. And I don't know, I kind of want to support everything. That's why I watch a lot of stuff, and I'm behind on something that I need to catch up on.
So you're a really nice guy. That's when it comes to films.
It's funny because I've had people come up at the con, and they're like, I remember your character, and they're sort of a bit hesitant to say hi, and it's like, don't worry, I'm a nice guy, there are no sinks around, you're safe, don't worry, Actually, there is a sink back there, you've got to be careful. I'm within like 30 feet of one. I think we're okay. We'll call it truce today. We'll be friends.
We're fine. We're okay.
At the very least, frenemies. So.
Oh man, but I'm actually, I guess you can say I'm a glutton for punishment because I like the really, really bad movies, like the B and below.
Yes.
I wouldn't put Open Water in
B
there.
and below. Is that C and then D? Does it keep going down the letters?
Oh, it just keeps going down to the point where it's like, what the hell am I watching?
What does a Z movie look like?
Oh,
I don't know.
You don't. I hope there's never a Z movie.
Yeah.
But I surf Tubi a lot.
Oh yeah.
For all those bad, I go for the cult. They call them cult classics.
Yeah.
They're just really bad movies, and they're great. I can't help it. I just like watching them.
There is entertainment in a film that may or may not have had other ideas of what they wanted to do with it or how it's to be viewed, but there is entertainment had with some really interesting movies that were just maybe not quite how it's supposed to turn out, and they became something else out of it. I find those quite fascinating. I watched a lot of movies like that.
Or you actually start to watch it, and these guys just poured in all their money into this film, and they did. And I'm sure at the end of the day, they're like, this was the greatest thing I've ever made. And it's like, all right, I give a little respect to that.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
I appreciate the effort, and I appreciate, the creativity that goes into everything. And sometimes things are hard to make, it's like, well, everything's hard to make, but, especially like if maybe they didn't get the funding they needed, or there was like outside sort of disruption, with production, there's a million reasons. And I don't know, I enjoy pretty much all forms of entertainment. I really do. And I just, I don't know, I have a fondness for a lot of it. Yeah.
I think it's just a fondness for movies. And it goes right back to the escapism.
Yeah, it does.
And it all goes back to that. We love it. But this time, Scott, thank you so much. Yes.
I'll try not to hijack it anymore.
No.
This is fun though.
Honestly, we got one more whole day.
We do.
So I will be back right here. think of more things, and we'll probably just go through again,
Okay.
talking more. Because I also got to go back over to Willie, but not today. Today we're going to go back to the booth right behind me. Which we might even have to have you jump up on this trivia thing and try.
I'm terrible at trivia. I'm actually scared of it.
You don't want to be on the show and be like, I'm just really bad.
Because they stand right there, so I listen to them, and I'm like, I didn't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that question. Of course, a lot of it is American trivia, so
that's
I have problems with some of it because there'll be like cartoons or cereal or whatever it is that is maybe pre-2002.
Okay.
And even stuff after 2002, maybe I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to. So I've only been here since 2002. So a lot of the shows and things that and sort of the cult stuff wasn't over in the UK. We had some of it for sure. We had like the hit TV shows, cartoons, and movies, but there's a lot of stuff we didn't have either. So I've had a lot of people say like, "Oh, that show," and like, "I've never heard of it." Like, "Well, you've never heard of it?" It's like, remember, I'm not American. I mean, I am a US citizen now, but yeah, I wasn't back then.
It's more like accent.
Yeah, it's not a giveaway. I think they just sort of, people who know me, they forget I have an accent after a while, so they just they sort of like think of me as just another American friend.
Well, I think it's also, when we think pop culture, we think that it's across the world.
Yeah.
When a lot of it was here in
Yeah.
America, and then it was sent out.
Yeah.
So it sometimes doesn't all get out.
Yeah,
to,
it's true. It's true. It was quite limited back in the day.
Yeah.
A couple of channels that we had, so.
All three of them.
But yeah. Anyway, this was fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Real pleasure.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm done insulting him now because he's British. I'm sorry. But Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back there, guys. Hey, 866, come over here. He's got pictures. He'll sign them. He'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Like he said, he'll definitely talk to you.
And follow my crazy
Oh,
antics
there
on
we go.
Instagram.
Yes,
at
and-
Scott Butler Act. SCOTTBUTLERACT for act. And I'll be there.
All right,
All right.
there you go. All right, guys, I'm going back there. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. Slow. Thanks. Okay. And we're back right here. That was a quick transition, huh? Oh, my hat fell. And I gotta get rid of this. Move. All right, let me go grab my camera because I'm still hot. Oh, looks like one of my microphones took a dive. Guys, it's been great. If you guys weren't watching the awesome interview I just did with Scott, you guys can still watch it again on YouTube. I'm gonna obviously go back to him because he's here in the booth all weekend, and I got to hear more about what he's done, and also we'll dive back into some more pop culture. And then of course we got Willie Ito. Willie's over there. He's signing autographs. He's taking pictures. He is a famous Hanna-Barbera, even with Disney animator. Long time in animation. Long time. So great people that are over here in the booth. Check them out, guys. Project Wishbone Star. If you guys are looking for popcorn, I know you guys smell the popcorn. You guys are hungry. Popcorn. Stand in the line for popcorn. I'm gonna just keep saying it like this: popcorn, popcorn, popcorn. Get more popcorn. Eli, you want popcorn? You do want? Oh, he has popcorn. You can get more popcorn. Oh, and you got a box. Okay. He got a cereal box, so all right, I'm gonna lay off of him over there because he took it out. But also we got Elias in the front, who's got a great comic book Starman. Check it out. He's there to sell and sign. Sign, right? You're gonna sign it? Okay. Oh, it's all going. Everything that he just said. All the comic proceeds are going to Project Wish Pawn Star. So guys, you got a lot of things you can pick up here that are going to help out Project Wish Pawn Star. And there is a QR code floating around also for Oriental Trading Company. That is, if you scan the QR code, you have a chance to win $200. $200. And it'll help out Project Wish Pawn Star. So every time you scan that code, it helps them out. That's the Oriental Trading Company. And I am Eugene with the Geek Saga. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun here. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is anymore. Lost complete track of time. Wow, this day has, I guess you could say, flown by. It has been quite a day. We're getting close to the end, real close to the end. So right now I'm going to just call it quits for a moment, take a break, and I'll be back in a few. But guys, again, booth 866. Just keep that in mind. Project Wish Pawn Star. Great charity, helping kids out that have cancer. You can buy popcorn and it helps them out. You can buy a mystery box that has some really cool prizes. You can come see me because I'm great. Just kidding. All right, guys, that's it for now.